Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Pallian. I'm one of the race directors with the Sugar Land Half Marathon, and I wanted to take about 20 minutes today to talk to you guys about the race. There are some changes from last year. Hopefully, you guys see them as improvements. We certainly do. We heard your concerns with a few things, and we've done our best to address those. So, first of all, thank you for signing up. We're about 100 to 150 pace-wise to go over where we were last year. We ended last year at about 800 people. We're almost there as of now with a week left. And last week, we tend to do between 100 and 200 registrations. So we should be around 900, but we're hoping to hit 1,000. That would be great for the growth of this race. And we couldn't do that without you guys. So thank you very much. An update on volunteers. We filled almost all the volunteer positions 2 months ago. Really kind of took us by shock. I guess word got out to the schools that we donate, not only do we sign for hours that they need, but we also donate as far as stipends to groups and teams and clubs that come out. And the word spread. I guess more groups and teams wanted to be part of it. So we looked about 2 months ago thinking we'd have to get more volunteers, and it was full. So great for us, great for you guys, great for them. We love having the kids out from the schools. Not only do they bring in a much needed energy out there, but they are super fun to be around as you guys run by and we do our job helping produce the race. So thanks to all the volunteers out there that may be watching this as well. So let's just jump right in so that we can keep this as short as possible. I want to share my screen. All right, you guys should be able to see the sugarlandhalf.com website. This is just revamped. I added quite a bit of information that was not on the one page scroll through that we had before. So check this out if you haven't done it. Just a quick walkthrough here. Event info is where most of this information is going to reside that you need. Frequently asked questions and how to right here. Results 2023 and 22 up here. 23 is not populated yet. You should be able to check that live at the event. Go to the website and that should automatically populate there. Photos, last year's photos are here. You just change the date. You can go to either year. Once the ones for 2023 are uploaded, we will email you, but you can check here throughout the days after the event and see if those have been uploaded. This is where the volunteers go, sponsors, and the rest of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. We do have race insurance, but that is third party, guys. So if you get that during registration, know that that really has nothing to do with us. They should have emailed you separately after you confirm your registration, and you should email them directly. We do get a fair amount of questions about that, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. You do have to email them specifically through the email they send. And all right, so let's jump right into the event info. Under registration info, what you get with this race is a quarter zip pullover. That is for the people in the half specifically and the 10K. You get that at packet pickup. If you're in the family mile, you get just a regular t-shirt here. That'll be a packet pickup as well. The medal you get when you cross the finish line, that's extra large this year, and it's made of wood, which is kind of unique based on what everybody else gives. We hope you enjoy that. And you get your bib here, which on the back of your bib at packet pickup, you will have your timing tag that is adhered to that. Do not touch that. Do not remove it. And make sure that your bib is on the outermost layer of clothing at all times, facing forward, so we can identify you by number and that timing tag. If it's buried under layers of clothing or taken off and accidentally tossed with like a shirt you don't want to wear anymore during the race, you're not going to get a time. So make sure that's on the outermost layer at all times. That's important. We're going to go down, and I'm talking fast because I want to make sure I get all the information in and I don't go too long on this. All right, so refunds, transfers, and deferrals. We don't offer refunds or transfers. We do offer deferrals. This year, since it's our first year offering those, I will allow you guys to email us even next week and defer if you want. Not a big deal. You do have to pay a 30% fee to activate that next year when you choose to take advantage of it. If you never take advantage of it, you don't owe us a thing. If you do, it's 30% of whatever the price is at the time you choose to use that deferral. And then that gets you put into next year's race. So going down here, this video actually posted to the mandatory YouTube race briefing part right here. Something I forgot to mention. You can actually defer yourself. It says right here how to defer it. That's a tutorial on how to do that. Also, there's other tutorials on how to do add-ons, which is added packet shipping for $15, which isn't available at this time because one, we sold it out, but two, we need time to send that, and we're going into the week of the race, so that's no longer available. But another add-on is race morning packet pickup, which you can do all this week. You can switch over to that at any time for $15. So if you don't know how to do that, right here under change your add-ons, that'll show you how to do that yourself. Change your event if you want to switch between the 10K and the half, or half and the 10K. We're still allowing that, despite what some of these deadlines say. That's still open for you guys to do. You will have to pay a fee to go up to the half. If you change to the 10K, unfortunately, there's no refund for the price difference there. But if you have to change anything, if you have to change your shirt size, you can still do that as long as our inventory is available by going into change your reg info there as a giveaway. All of this allows you to manage your registration yourself, which is what we want. We want you to be able to do that, so you're not having to email us and wait for us to do it. If you run into any problems and you've done all these steps, you know how to do it, it's just not working, then I need for you guys to email us at that point, and we can help you, but only after you've gone through those steps to try and do that yourself, please. Schedule of events. Let's roll through that really quick. I'm going to come back to packet pickup, talk a little bit more about that, but Friday from 3 to 7, and Saturday from 3 to 7 at the same location, Sun and Ski Sports in Briar Grove in Houston, we have packet pickup. That is included with your registration. If you can't make that, remember, for any of our events, we ship out packets. Like I said, now that's not available, but you still have an option if you can't make the in-person pickup, or let's say you're watching this and you haven't registered, you can always pay $15 to have it race morning. I know some races do that for free, not a lot of halves, but I know some 5K, 10Ks do it for free. The thing is, guys, with a half, there's a lot more going on. We got to hire people to come in to do that. That's why we charge that $15. It's really not about the money. It's to cover that expense for us. And we don't want everyone picking up race morning because that creates lines. Even if we have 2-3 people managing that, different lines going, it still creates lines. We don't want you guys waiting in that. So it's rather limited, not only by the cost being $15, but also because we only allow 150 people to do that. So if you can't make this, we know it's not super close to Sugar Land for those of you that live in Sugar Land and register, but that is why we offer those other options to have convenience for you in regards to that. All right, so go rolling right into Sunday. 5 a.m. parking opens. I'm going to go through, when I do race course, I'm going to go through the map of where all this stuff is. But real quick, parking opens at 5, plenty of ample parking all morning long, in and out, rather easy to do. Last year, we kind of enclosed it all with the course, which made it a little more difficult. This year, we took that away. We changed the course, made it a lot better in that regard. So you can come and go for the most part as you please with the parking. It's great. Okay, so 5 a.m. is also when race morning packet pickup begins. If you're one of those 100 to 150 people that are having that race morning, that's open at that point as well. We expect you guys to know when your race starts. 7 a.m. is the half marathon. 7:30 is the 10K. And then let's see, where is it down here? The family mile begins at 10. So just show up with enough time for you to get your packet. Assume there's going to be a little bit of a line. There may not be, but assume the worst. Hope for the best. Give yourself plenty of time based on when your start is to pick your packet up. After the 10K starts, we're going to transition everything in that area into the food and the awards and everything else. We will still have, if any of the family mile has paid to pick their packet up that morning, we'll still have your packets available, but they might be off to the side. So just ask. Selena and Kim are the ones that are in charge of post-race and everything pre-race and everything in that area there. So ask for them if you need specific help. If you're a volunteer checking in, they're going to help you out too that morning. If you're a pacer, you got an email from me today, but you can pick up your stuff with them as well. Everything is right there. All right. So 6:50 a.m. is when we're going to do anthem and announcements at the start for the half. 6:58 is when the hand cycle half marathon begins, and 2 minutes later is when everyone else starts. If you're in the hand cycle half marathon, I have a request for you guys. Last year, you guys were coming in strong to that finish line. Slow down, please, just a little bit. We're going to make sure we tell everyone in that finish shoot that you guys are coming through, because we realize you're going to come through at some type of speed that's much higher than a runner. But please reduce that speed as much as possible so that no one gets hurt in there. We'll likely clear that out so that you guys have room, but just work with us as far as that goes, please. Like I said, hand cycle starts at 6:58. Regular marathon starts at 7. 7:20 is the 10K and anthem and announcements. The 10K starts just at 6 minutes after sunrise at 7:30. Sunrise is around 7:24 a.m. That being said, the half will start in dark-ish conditions. It is blue hour. You will have some light from the sun coming up, but it will be dark enough where you do have to be a little more aware out there. There are plenty of lights on the street, and there should be enough ambient light to not be a problem, but just be aware of that. 8 a.m. is when the official post-race party begins, which is well ahead of any finishers that are coming in outside of the hand cycle people. We'll have some food. We're going to have pizza, and I'll talk, and kolaches and beer and all that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. 9:50 a.m. is when the Family Mile anthem and announcements start. 10 a.m. is when that actually begins. And 10:45 is when the race concludes. Last year, everyone, I think, was crossed the line by 10:30, but 10:45 is when the race concludes. So let's get away from this page and go to packet pickup real quick. We've talked about race morning pickup, about shipping. If we shipped you your packet and you paid for that to be done, that was shipped out 4 or 5 days ago, I think. So you should have that by now. Make sure you check your mailbox and see. If you paid for race morning packet, or packet shipping, and you have not received that, feel free to reach out to us. Sometimes USPS loses them. That's rare in our experience, but that may happen. May have 1 or 2 people there. Or there might have been a system error. That is super rare. Or maybe we just screwed up something, also rare, but let us know. There's always a way to make it right. Usually what we do is we reassign you another number and we let you pick up race morning, obviously at no additional cost. And that line goes super quick, so shouldn't be an issue, but that's usually our fix for that. So just let us know. Sun and Ski, Briar Grove Plaza, 6100 Westheimer Road, number 126, Houston, Texas, 77057. If you click this, it takes you to a map. If you click the actual Sun and Ski Sports text here, it'll take you to their website. Please do not call Sun and Ski asking any questions about anything related to this race, period. They are our sponsor, and they give us a location to do packet pickup. They help us with tables and setup and all of that for packet pickup. But I am not, and you should not, expect their employees to know anything about this race. They have, other than what I just stated, have nothing to do with this race. Please do not call them. This website is very comprehensive. You can email us if you need to. We are the ones you should contact with questions, please. Friday and Saturday, same time, 3 to 7, same location. If you want to avoid the potential for any lines, I would recommend you don't show up at 3. You don't show up at 7. Show up kind of in the middle. Now that I said that, that's when the line will be. But you know what I'm saying, guys. People get there early, and then there's a line because everyone shows up early. So if you want to avoid that, that's how. I set up 2 emails, one going out Monday, which is the initial packet pickup email, but then a carbon copy of that as a reminder will go out Thursday as well. So it's the top in your inbox. That will have a QR code at the very top. That QR code is going to you specifically for the registration that you have. If you registered more than one person and used your email for all of them, we don't recommend that for this reason specifically. It gets kind of confusing. You're getting all these registration emails. QR codes look the same, but they're not. You will get a QR code specific for your registration, and that is for every single person registered. That is what we want you to bring to packet pickup. Bring your ID with you just in case that QR code for some reason doesn't work. We really don't have that happen. But if you lose the QR code or you can't bring it up for whatever reason, we can check you in based on ID. If you have the QR code, we don't necessarily need your ID. It makes it a lot faster. You can pick up someone else's packet, but we need you to have their QR code, so that goes quicker. Also be aware that we really don't want you showing up picking up 20 people's packets. That really slows down the line. We're okay with a handful of people, either in your family or work friends or running groups or whatever, but keep it limited, guys. 2, 3, 4 people. If you need to do a lot of people, please email us and let us know you're coming, just so we can kind of be prepared. Let us know what day and time you think you're coming, and that helps a lot. It's your responsibility to check your bag before you leave. Make sure all the information or all the things I'm going to talk about below are in that. You're going to get a run bib with the timing tag on the back. Again, keep that forward facing. Don't touch that timing tag, and keep it on the outermost layer of clothing. That's yours to keep. You don't return anything in that regard to us after the race. You're going to get a quarter zip pullover for the half and the 10K, and the Family Mile gets a t-shirt. All of that's at packet pickup. Whether you had it mailed, whether you're going in person or race morning, you should get that shirt. We cannot exchange sizes, guys. What we do is anyone that's registered by the time we order, which is about 5 weeks in advance, they are guaranteed the size that they order. We put that inventory into Run Sign Up. And if you register after 4 or 5 weeks, then you get to pick from the overage that we guessed on as far as what we ordered extra. Once that inventory runs out, you may notice if you register late, maybe some sizes aren't available and you're forced to choose a size you may not want. That's because that's what we ordered and that's what's left. So that is what you're going to get, whatever you registered and your size says in Run Sign Up. If you want to exchange it, make sure you have it on you. And it's going to be at the end of the race after everyone's picked their packet up. When I say end of the race, it doesn't have to be 10:30. But it can be after the 10K starts, okay? So when you come in, or if you have a family member that wants to come over after the 10K starts, we'll exchange at that point, okay? That's how that's gonna go. I've talked about all this other stuff. You need to change your add-ons. Here's a button for that. Also, like I said here, you can get that information. We're gonna keep going. I'll talk about parking and race site when I talk about course maps. Let's come back to course maps because that's the longest thing. Pace teams. Pace teams are going to have one of these on a stick, and it has the pace they're running per mile, the finish time, and the name of the team, the 2 members on that. That's going to be in the start corral. So the start corral, because we get onto the road super quick, is going to be a little more narrow to make sure that you guys are already kind of condensed down by the time you get to your one open lane you have on these roads. Do not cross that cone line. Talk more about that later. But if you're going to be with the pace group, you're going to look for these pace cards on dowel rods in the start chute for the half only. We don't have them for the 10K. Be around those pace groups if you're going to run with the group. If you're not going to run with the group, it's a good way to kind of seed yourself based on time and the pace you think you're going to run. You're going to be between 2 pace groups somewhere, or at the very front ahead of that first pace group, or at the end behind that last one. So those pace groups, even if you don't run with them, is a great way to seed yourself accordingly in the start, which is extra important this year if we have that condensed, or not if, when we have that condensed start, because it will be harder to pass groups of people, and we want to make sure you're running the pace you want from the beginning. So that's how you're going to use that. So if you need to know any of that information or look at what the name is of the people in your pace group, that's listed right here. Family Mile information, it's just an out and back, just like it was last year. Start and finish in the same spot. That's real simple. You guys get a medal when you cross. There's no awards for the Family Mile, but you're going to get the same thing in the finish line, the water, the Gatorade at the finish, and then you can get all the post-race stuff that everyone else gets. Let's see. We'll talk about awards real quick. Here are all the awards. You guys can look at these yourself and go through. Like I said, Family Mile doesn't get awards. Any teams that have signed up and listed their running group will add up what the largest group is. And then as long, you have to have 5 people in your group to be counted towards the fastest team. So both the largest team and the fastest team, assuming that groups are over 5, will get 5 comp entries sent to them for next year. So that's great. We may or may not be able to announce that at the race. If not at the race, we will send an email out afterwards and let everyone know. So here are all the groups for both the half and the 10K. Awards are grab and go. So when you cross the line, you can look at the website, confirm your results, or you can click any of the QR codes that are at the event on the A-frame boards. You can go to the timing trailer at the finish and ask for your time. Once you've confirmed, however you're going to do that, that you have won an award officially, you can go to all the tents that are set up, and under there, next to all the food, we're going to have the grab and go awards. So you can let them know, they'll verify, and you can get your award. If you can help it, please do not wait in the award line if you have no clue that you won an award. There are a lot of ways outside of waiting in that line, not knowing, that you can find out so that that line is not 10 times longer than it needs to be with people that don't know if they've won. So only get in that line if you know that you've won. and you can get your awards. We will also later in the morning rattle off all of the names of the winners. And what that does is not only just kind of gives you a name recognition, which is nice, even if you've already grabbed your award, but it also, if you haven't grabbed it, it allows us to get rid of those remaining awards that are on the table so we don't have to deal with emails about shipping and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So keep going here. Rules, you guys can read through that yourself. The two things that are very, very, very important, or three things: no littering whatsoever on the course at all. I want to make sure that you guys know we really, really, really want you whenever possible to just have one bud in your ear, so that if you hear a car coming, if we need to get through on a bike somehow and we need to get through a crowd, that we're not screaming at the top of our lungs because no one can hear us because they have headphones on. And it happens all the time. We don't mind the headphones, but if you have one in each ear, make sure it's low enough with noise canceling off so that you can hear us, or just remove one of the ears, the buds in one of the ears so you can hear us. Okay. The next thing is, do not cross the cone line. Once you're on the open roads, we have the right lane. That is what's coned off. Cars will be slow, but they will still be coming throughout the morning in the other lane. If you cross that cone line, there is a chance you may get hit. That's why the cone line's there. That's why I'm telling you not to cross it. Do not cross it. If you need to pass someone and get around them and you can't do it in the normal lane, pass to the right. Jump the curb, get in the grass if you need to, as long as it's safe. Get on the sidewalk for a minute. That's okay, as long as you get right back onto the road once you pass them. Just be careful doing it. Obviously, before you do that, say on your left, on your right. And guys, if you're running and you're not passing, even if you're in a group, try to run single file. I've run plenty of times with friends where we run single file. We can still talk. It is not necessary for you to run side by side, especially if you're in a group that's packed and people need to pass. Have that runner's etiquette, please, out there. Okay. And one other thing, just be nice to everyone. Help people out. You see a medical emergency that we may not be at right away. If it's serious, call 911. If it's not, maybe stay with them. Make sure they can get to an aid station. We are all out there to be good stewards of the community and of the run itself and each other. And the main thing is to have fun and be there for each other along the way. So thank the volunteers, thank the cops, anything you see out there, just have fun and be good to each other. Okay. The weather looks great. It looks better than last year, cooler than last year, hopefully, knock on wood. But in the event of lightning or anything like that that stops us from starting, we will reassess every 20 minutes and then shorten the race as needed if we are finding ourselves an hour, hour and a half into what we should have been racing already. We may go down to a 10K or 5K or whatever. I don't see that being an issue this year. The weather looks good, but that's how we handle that. Lodging, if you want to stay closer to the race, if it's a drive for you, there's lots of things on this lodging page. Please stay in Sugar Land. They get the tax dollars from that. They're really helpful with the race. They love having it. Things like that go a long way with the city and everyone that lives there. Eat out after or before the race or whatever. We urge you to just come have fun in Sugar Land, and definitely thank you for that. It helps everyone involved. So that is mostly everything here. Before I dive into the course itself, because that's the last thing I'll do, frequently asked questions shows you here how to do your run number bib, how to change things. Results are here. Photos, we already went over that. All this stuff, I think we're good. So let's go down to the race course itself. So live Google Maps is great. If you have this up on your phone at any time, this will show you real time where you are as a blue dot. So not that you're going to need to check the map while you're running or anything, but you could if you wanted to. Hopefully we have all the signs out there and cones and everything to guide your way. If you find yourself in an area where there's no cops, there's no cones, there's no signs, no aid stations or anything, or water stops, you're probably not on course. So just pay attention, guys, have your head up and be looking around at all times. But if you zoom in the morning, Smart Financial Center is great. Lots of parking. This parking here may not be available to you guys, but there's 2,000 spots up in here. So park, it's real easy, in and out all morning long with that. And then everything as far as packet pickup race morning, for those of you that have to do that, and then awards and food and all that stuff are right here where this heart is, all the tents like last year on the sidewalk. And then down here is our finish line. That's really it for race, for race site. So last year, We actually had the course go all the way around and enclosed everything. It was a big pain in the butt. We revamped that this year. In order to revamp that, we had to add some mileage to the half. The only spot that happens is on Commonwealth. Last year, everyone just went straight up University. This year, to get that mileage back, you're going to have to do a small out and back on Commonwealth. Real easy. For the 10K, your same exact course as last year. No out and back down there because that's where you join the course. However, you will have to do just a very small out and back as you run out the same way the half did. You're in the left lane doing this out and back, and then you just kind of form into that right lane where you'll stay the whole race. But this little bit is very needed. As of now, one thing that is different between the two races, the half and the family mile both start and finish in a common area here at the inflatable finish line. Okay. So the half just runs out and on to Lexington and goes. The family mile runs out the same way, but when they get to Lexington, they don't go on to Lexington. They just go on to Taberwood and come back. It's an out and back. The difference with the 10K is that as of now, to get the mileage you need, not only is there this little out and back here, but we're going to start you under a different inflatable, kind of like how the whole race started last year, all the events up here on the top end of this south parking lot. And you're going to take a left and just kind of loop around. You'll go underneath the inflatable where everyone else started, and you'll follow that path, do your little out and back here, and then go out. And that'll be just like last year from that point on. So I'm going to pull up the illustrated course map just to go over this, but let me jump back real quick. Restrooms. There's going to be a bank of restrooms just like last year near the tents at the pre and post race area. There'll be more than enough there. On the course, we don't have them at every race or every water stop. We have them at mile 5. There's a set at 6.5 and at 8. That was more than enough last year. They were barely used. If any of you guys find that's not enough, please let us know. We're always open to improvements, but we do have to go with, the majority and what we see out there. And last year we didn't see it as a problem. So that's where we're going to stay from, at least from now on. Things change, we'll let you know. On-course hydration is at for the half is at mile 1.5, and then 2 miles later at 3.5, and then 1.5 miles later at 5, 1.5 miles later at 6.5, 1.5 miles later at 8. Then 2 miles between 8 and 10, but then only 1 mile between 10 and 11, and another 1 mile between 11 and 12. That's how it has to work out. Last year, it was pretty much the same. Didn't get any complaints on that. Just plan ahead, guys. If you know it's going to be an issue when you're having 2 miles between them, then just load up on those 2 mile interval or those 2 mile sections between 1.5 and 3.5 and 8 and 10. And then for the 10K, you're going to have 2 water stops, mile 2, mile 4. Okay. That's how it was last year. So plan accordingly if that's not enough. Post-race food and drink for everyone are kolaches, pizza, beer, snacks, candy. It's Halloween. I'm getting close. So there's going to be some candy. When you cross the line, you're going to get a bottle of water and or a bottle of Gatorade. If you bypass that or you want more later, you're certainly welcome to show your number, get back into the finish line area and grab it. But the only drink we'll have in the post-race area is beer. Again, water and Gatorade. You can get those at the finish line. Just show your bib. Course medical, we're going to have course medical at the finish, and then we're going to have 3 other medical people roaming the course. We cannot cover every section of the course at all times. So that's why we're asking help for that. If someone needs you to stay with them, please be kind enough to do that until we get there. 911 is always an option. There's cops out there. There's all kinds of people. So do what you can to be good to other people and help us out if need be. We do a good job on covering the medical, but again, we can't be everywhere at all times, guys. So one of the things at the aid stations I want to mention is last year we did not have ice out there. We iced down the coolers when they went out, but we didn't put a lot and it burned off. We had ice at the finish. Just in the water and Gatorade tubs, which was there all morning. But that was not enough. Admittedly, that was something we did wrong that we want to fix. So this year we have a whole ice trailer. We're going to ice down the finish line. We're going to have ice in the medical tent. We're going to have ice out on the course. We will ice down the water and Gatorade coolers even more, and we will have a cooler full of ice. We are not going to hand an ice cup to every single person that passes. But just know that if you get to a water stop and you need ice, we do have it there. We should have enough. We do have a car that's roaming with water refills, with ice, and anything needed for those stations. So those should stay stocked. So just be aware, those are some measures we've taken to improve for you guys. All right, real quick, diving into the course. So we're going to go over the half. The half start and finishes, same spot at the end, turns left and makes its way out onto the course. Once you turn onto Lexington, it's a one-lane coned off course there, and you're going to stay in that lane. You're going to turn right on Sweetwater, right on Palm Royale. Real quick, I'm going to mention, you guys start on your own. There's no 10K with you, but you will see a double sign that says 10K, turn right on just before Elkins, half, go straight. Go straight. Pay attention to the sign. There's no need for anyone in the half to turn on Elkins. That's cutting the course. You're disqualified. Stay straight. On Sweetwater to Palm Royale, turn right. All the water drops are water stations on this map, so you can see where those are. You're going to go all the way down Palm Royale. You're going to turn left onto Commonwealth here just for a second, and then turn right onto LJ Parkway. The WCs are water closets. They're the set of restrooms we're going to have on the course. Down LJ Parkway, turn to the right on University, and you're going to keep going on University. Something to note, we start a half hour before sunrise to give you guys a little more time where it's not quite so hot. This year shouldn't be as hot, but it's still going to be a little hot out there. So that being said, I want to mention that the first half or even 2/3 of the course are relatively shaded, so you should be good. But once you're on LJ Parkway, there's a lot of spots here that are not shaded at all. This little section on University is shaded, but then you come out of that over here, and all of this is in the sun. There's no shade for the most part, maybe a few areas here and there, but mostly all sun. Commonwealth here should have a little shade and relief, but just be aware of that as you go along. There's nothing we can do about that. For those of you that recommended we change the direction of the course, we can't go from clockwise all right turns to counterclockwise left turns. It makes it substantially more dangerous and difficult for the police to manage. Left turns are very hard versus right turns, and most of this course is right turns. Okay, so you're on University, you've turned right, you're going to go all the way around here. This is different from last year. You're going to turn right on Commonwealth. You're going to stay in that right lane. If that changes, the only spot on this course that may change, and we will let you know, so if we don't mention it, right lane for the entire course. But if anything changes, it would be Commonwealth, we're being in the left lane there. Otherwise, it's on the right. You turn here. This point right here at Elkins is where the 10K is going to merge. They're going to have a right turn, and they're going to merge with you as you do a U-turn. So it's up to both of you guys, 10K and half, to be very considerate and courteous of people coming in. The 10Kers have just as much of a right to merge into that lane as you have a right to sustain your running as you're going. So 10Kers, be very aware that you're merging into someone who's already progressing in their race and vice versa. Be nice to each other. There is no reason that you cannot have enough room there to merge together. Now, granted, in the future, if this race gets to 2,000 people or more, that's a little tougher. We're going to have to work that out. But being 1,000 or under, that is completely manageable there. We are asking for your help as you merge. All right, so at this point, the 10K merges right in. They're going to turn right with you guys in the half. You're going to go up. You're going to turn right, then do a little zigzag, a left turn, a right turn as you come into the parking lot here, and you'll just do a right, and you're in the finish. And everyone does the same 10K and half at that point, and you are good to go. As far as the 10K, we already went over different start. You kind of loop around. As you work your way towards Lexington, you do a little out and back here, then a right turn on, that actually will be a little left onto Lexington there as you do this out and back. But then a right on Sweetwater, and you're going to hit that double sign. That's where that 10K sign is going to say turn right onto Elkins. This is beautiful, mostly shaded through here on Elkins. And then right here, down here on Commonwealth is where you hang a right and merge with everything else that we've already talked about. Okay. All right. So that's it, guys, for the course. If you see a photographer, smile out there and just have fun. Email us if you have any questions. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.